Hello everybody, it's Dusty Sage here, micechat.com, and we are upstairs in Tomorrowland at the new Tomorrowland Starview Station DVC Lounge. We thought you might want to see it. Nathan's with me. He wanted to come up here because it's a very hot day at Disneyland and he needed a refreshment. So let's all have a refreshment right now and take a look. I'm going to flip this around. Takes just a second there. And what you're looking at is the old launch bay down there. And the launch bay no longer available to regular guests. I'll show you what they're using it for. There is an elevator here, so if you need an elevator, you don't have to take the stairs. But the beautiful Starview Station mural, you can even, if you're a Disney Vacation Club member, and you have to be to come up here, you can get assistance from Disney Vacation Club member services. You need to add an ownership interest or want to know what the current good deals are, they'll let you know. And there's this hallway that features Vacation Club properties all over the place and opportunities. When you walk down this hallway of dreams, and then you enter the beautiful Starview Station Lounge. Love this concept art here for Walt Disney's Progress City. There's a people mover there. There's Mighty Microscope from Adventures Through Inner Space. Lots of comfy seating in here. I particularly like these perforated walls. Reminds me of a house that we used to have when I was a kid that had 60s style theming. And there's a Mary Blair mural way up there towards the ceiling. Get up close there. When Tomorrowland opened, there were two Mary Blair murals, one on either side of Tomorrowland, one above today where Buzz Lightyear is, on the other side where currently is Star Tours, but back then would have been Adventures Through Inner Space and what was it called? Circle Vision. Little chairs here for little people to watch Mickey Mouse shorts. And then over here, probably the neatest detail in here, original Spaceman from Tomorrowland. There's a great picture of what Tomorrowland Spaceman and Spacewoman looked like. And this is the costume. Pretty cool. Over here they have Coke Freestyle machines. They also have some really cool coffee machines here, so you can plan your coffee out on your phone and then make it there. I guess all the different flavors free. They even right now have some chips and things as snacks, and this is all free for DVC members. You do not need a reservation to do this. You just need to be a DVC member. It's very expensive to be a DVC member, so just a little perk. Super hot day like today, it's nice to be able to come in here and relax. We have some friends in the lounge right now. Jeffrey and Ando. You might see Ando occasionally on the lives. Every once in a while Jeffrey's on there too, but Ando lives on the other side of the universe and he's here visiting. And would you like to come join us on our live? Look at that, he was already seated. You just saw Nathan a little bit ago, he already found a way to sit down.
It's very comfortable in here.
It is too comfortable.
Not gonna lie. So there are a couple questions about the lounge here.
Yeah, let's answer it.
One question, does the lounge serve alcohol?
No, the lounge is completely self-service. All they have are those two little Coke Freestyle machines in the back, plus coffee and tea. So it's all help yourself in this lounge. It's really just a place to come and sit and relax, have a soda, recharge your phone, maybe talk to the DVC member services team, and that's really all this is for. That's just a little perk. So if you're a DVC member staying at the Disneyland Resort, even if you're not staying at the Disneyland Resort, you just need to be a member, and then you can come up here. And today, I mean, I was pretty sweaty and uncomfortable when we got here, but by the time that we started this video, I feel nice and relaxed. By the time this video is over, I'll be all sweaty again because it's almost 90 degrees today. Scorcher.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful up here.
The
So-
other question
Yeah.
was, is this going to be a permanent lounge?
Yeah, this is a permanent lounge until they figure out what they're going to do with this building. Luckily, as you saw, everything in there is just really furniture and some artwork, so all of it's easily moved or repurposed into something else. I wanted to show you all very quickly, this is the old launch bay. It's all still here. So those are the cues for meeting the characters. That used to be the Darth Vader meet and greet, and Chewie, and all the characters were right here. What they've done to kind of hide everything that used to be up here from when it was the Marvel experience is put those black curtains with the lights, which works fantastically. I'm kind of doing it backwards right now because to enter, you enter through the front door there where you always entered, and then they have this little check-in desk right here where you check in and show your membership card, and then you head up the stairs. Now, there is one little hidden detail I noticed in the lights the other day. So there is a hidden Mickey in here, and I don't know if you'll even be able to see it on the video, but if you look on this panel right over there, where there's the, on the far right-hand side, the rows of 2, and then there's the 4, and if you look inward, one row down and one over, you'll see in the circle a Mickey Mouse head. So I don't know if any of you could see that, but I barely could see it. Somebody had to point it out to me. And I was like, where? Oh, there it is. So here is what they're using this for today. So everything is the same as it was before, except there's these signs that say Campus Students Imagination Campus. So it's a student program for like high school kids, maybe even grade school kids. I don't know the ages. But they sit here, they see a little video on the screen back there, and then they take them in and they do all sorts of programming with them, kind of teach them how to be a Disney, employee or Imagineer. There was a video of Bob Iger. The old shop used to be back here. Darth Vader does his meet and greets in here usually. Oh, he is there. Oh my gosh. Nope. The store is still here, but it's empty. I don't think we're supposed to be here, but you can see it's all still set up. Just doesn't have any merchandise in here, including the screen still working for the D-Tech. They could reopen this anytime they wanted.
There's a lot of questions about why it's not open. Do you have any insight about that?
I'm sure it has to do with staffing. All right, we are headed out into the sun. I'm putting my sunglasses on. I'm gonna go to a wide angle here, so you're gonna lose me for 1 second. Just so you can see more as we wander around. Inside, we get a lot better light levels with the setting on a regular ratio, but once we go outside here, you will see more on the wide setting. And there's a lot to see today
look,
because
the stage is going down.
Oh, look at that. See the Tomorrowland Terrace stage sinking into the ground there, folks? I'll see it going down. Getting it ready later for a dance party or something in the evening. They do characters and DJ music. So as we wander through the park today, a few things we're looking for. Matterhorn is down for a refurb of an unknown length, and it has been lengthy in the past. It's a very old ride, and it needs constant maintenance. So there's lots of projects that are budgeted over the course of multiple years where they replace things for braking systems and length of track. They've even been replacing parts of the mountain itself. You'll have to tell me what that said, Nathan. I'm
Kiki
blind.
and Luca left.
Oh my gosh, Kiki and Luca left us some love. We're gonna send some love back. You know, blow some big kisses, Nathan.
Mwah.
50-minute wait for Space Mountain, and you're going to find that as we walk through the park. That's about right. So it's a major e-ticket, oftentimes has one of the longer waits in the park. It can easily be over an hour at Space Mountain, but today, on a Friday, it's about 50 minutes. Most of the waits were fairly reasonable for a Friday. Long, but not crazy. But what is outrageous are the wait times for Splash Mountain and Grizzly, and that's because as temperatures soar, people want to get wet and cool off. So we saw a long wait over at Grizzly. In fact, that queue was completely filled up, and so was the one over at Splash. People also head indoors to rides like Small World and Pirates and Haunted Mansion because they're long and they're air conditioned, so you'll find that happening on hot days as well. You know, normally in summer, an 87-degree day wouldn't be that bad, but this is our first, mid 80-degree day in quite some time, and so people are hot because we're not used to it. Yesterday was about 10 degrees cooler, and the day before that was 10 degrees cooler than that, so we've gone up 20 degrees in 2 days.
Patty asks, I've read things about Toontown being damaged. Is this true?
Yeah, it is true. We'll go back to Toontown and show you some of the damage. It may not be so bad right now, but we wrote about how things are starting to wear. Kids are running around. I'm showing you this mural right now. Earlier we saw that Mary Blair mural inside the Starview Station. It was way up there. So you see these Space Mountain spaceships and the rockets over here on your left. That whole center portion of this was a giant tile mural made by Mary Blair, the famous artist who Walt Disney loved and is iconic even by today's standards. Her artwork had that 50s and 60s, mid-century, cute kind of look to it. And she had murals on both sides of Tomorrowland. There's another mural over here. They're still there. They're hidden behind these panels. They're heavily damaged, but they are there. And someday, I suspect Disney will find a way to feature those somehow, somewhere. It is beautiful at Disneyland, folks. I just got to tell you. Flowers are in full bloom. Spring break is over, so the walkways are not impacted the way that they were the last few weeks. So some of the lines are kind of longish, but it's not horrible. Now, I was here in the middle of the week to come check something out, and the park was insane. So the pattern for the park being busier Monday through Thursday and less crowded on Friday through Sunday is continuing, at least for now. Of course, last week was the last full week of spring break. We are still seeing some, roving crowds of young people, as Nathan was pointing out to me, but not terrible. And one of the reasons we were looking at the crowds is because most of the Cedar Fair parks are implementing a chaperone rule. Now, Knox had one last year after a little altercation in the park, and then it went away slowly, and now it's back again, but not just at Knott's, but King's Dominion and Carowinds and Kansas City at my home park, Worlds of Fun that I grew up at. They're all doing chaperone policies just in time for summer. So my guess is they're either worried about something or there's something more going on that we don't know about for all of those parks all at once to be doing that. Can you imagine something like that happening at Disney? I don't know. Things can get pretty rowdy here, particularly around spring break time and when there are large groups of kids. So yes, I could imagine it, and it wouldn't be that hard for Disneyland to do because mostly younger kids, younger people are here with their parents.
But summer might be a little
Summer,
different.
I mean, when I was a kid, parents would drop their kids off sometimes in the summer, first thing in the morning at Disneyland, and just let Disney take care of their kids for the day while the parents were at work. So you never know. And kids today are very different than they were back when I was a kid. I'm not saying we were any better or worse. It's just the things that they get away with today seem a lot worse. Howdy, Minnie. Looking quite iridescent there. These statues are great. I wish they had more of them. They have this Minnie, and then they have the Mickey in Town Square. It'd be neat to have some of the other characters in the iridescence as well. And really surprised that they didn't take the characters in the hub over here, the golden characters, which are a little worse for the wear right now, and give them the platinum iridescent treatment. It would have been a nice way for them to redo them. They could have just stayed that way until they started to deteriorate again and then rebronzed them. But with these gorgeous pink trees here, just behind Walt, as you see in the cover image of this video on YouTube at least, this was the cover image right here for those of you on Facebook that didn't get to see it when the video started. Walt, Mickey, the castle, all the gorgeous pink trees.
And told.
I can't get enough of this view. This is how I think of Disneyland. So when I, in my head, think of Disneyland, I think, of course, this beautiful castle, these stunning pink trees, pink trumpet flower trees. So many wonderful memories in this spot. You know, when we first started Mice Chat and Mice Age so many years ago, there used to be benches in the inner hub here, and every Sunday at noon we would do a noon meetup, and people from all over the world would meet up with us right there. So many friends over the years, so many memories. We're taking you in first through Adventureland today. When I enter the park, I tend to go to the left and enter the west side of the park, usually through Adventureland, unless I'm, you know, I've got a mission that I'm on and I have to go elsewhere. I know many people have other traditions. They might head off to the right towards Tomorrowland. But today I have a feeling that most people head straight back and go to either Galaxy's Edge or to Toontown to ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Let us know in the comments below how you enter the park. Which tunnel do you go through, first of all, right or left? And then which way do you head at the hub? Do you go in through Adventureland, Frontierland, through the castle, over to Tomorrowland, and where are you headed as your first stop on most trips to the park? Very curious.
Debbie asks, have they reconsidered having the college band come back this summer?
You know, I don't know what happened with the college band. I know that they had talked about not, but then I thought that they reconsidered and decided almost right away that they were having the college band come back. And I'll have to ask somebody. I do know somebody that is very close to the college band. We'll find out for you and talk about it.
The waterfalls are running today.
Are they? Oh yeah, a little trickle there. Little light trickle on the waterfall up there. I don't know if y'all can see way up there, but the waterfall is actually working and it's been dry for months.
So Ando, who is following us on our video today, asks, should Disneyland also add interactive statues like Walt Disney World has?
So,
Walt Disney World's 50th
Debbie,
introduced a bunch of
did you say that was Debbie that was asking?
Ando, who's
Ando
following
was
us.
So Ando wanted to know about the interactive statues and if Disneyland should add interactive statues the way that Disney World had. And for Disney World's 50th anniversary, they placed 50 golden statues around the parks, and you could wave your magic band in front of them and they would either talk or they would make noise. And it was a neat idea. The problem is that it takes them a while to reset. People start lining up for them. It's a kind of a made-up excuse to buy a Magic Band Plus, and I'm not a huge fan of them. And the novelty of it was pretty neat at first, but what you ended up with was lines of people waiting to just wave their arms. And it just looked weird and created unnecessary lines in places that didn't need them. And Disneyland has a few interactive things. We have interactive statues and medallions in downtown Disney, and one of them at California Adventure. I don't think we need any more than that. And nobody is using that the interactive coins in the parks or in downtown Disney. Have you seen anyone ever do it? Just that
very
opening
infrequently,
day?
and the ones that do have to wave their hand multiple times.
So to show everybody here, whenever you see a rope with a line of cast members, you know the attraction is down. And that would be the case here at Indiana Jones, which is almost perpetually broken. So with Indy, you're lucky if it's running, and if it is, you just hop in line and hope that you can ride. But on a day like today, when Matterhorn is down because of the refurbishment, and it's busy, makes it difficult that Indy is closed. So I'm going to pan by and show you the current status of the treehouse. From this angle here, you can see the top portion is unfurled. I'm going to move over to this side and show you a slightly different view. All right, here. Little trick of mine to get a better view of the treehouse from here. Now we can see just about the whole upper portion of the treehouse from up here. You see that the little hut on the left is done, the center portion is done, and if you go all the way up on your right, you'll see all those stairs. There is one missing hut. I don't think the thatched roof has gone in yet. On the far upper right section of the treehouse is the one thing that's missing, that, and then the big giant water wheel contraption still needs to go in. I'm going to estimate this will be open for early summer, is my guess. I think they're definitely on par, and they've already removed so much of the scrims. Now, they could have left them up. They took them down for a reason. They wanted to be able to push the walls back a little bit, and two, they want to tease people. They want to get you excited to see the return of what looks like the old Swiss Family Robinson's treehouse, but isn't. Because this new treehouse is only inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson. There's a whole different storyline behind it.
So when we were in the hub, you were talking about holding Mice Chat meetups in yesteryear.
In yesteryear, days of yore.
The days of yore. Our friend Karen asks if there will be any future Mice Chat meetups.
Well, there may be. They're very hard to accomplish nowadays with park reservations and how expensive tickets are. And the expectation back then was, you'd meet up and then there'd be lunch. And it's a lot harder to do these days with, tickets and high prices and crowded parks and so forth. So the moment for them is sort of past. However, we will do special events now and then and make sure that people can meet up. In fact, we have a neat event coming up in conjunction with Garner Holt Foundation. If you visit thegarnerholtfoundation.org, you can see that we're giving tours of Walt Disney's mansion in the Hollywood. Hello guys, how are you? Having a great lunch? Bye-bye. Some friends yelling out, "Hey Dusty." So this is Tiana's palace coming up here. Real quick on Garner Holt Foundation, if you want to see Walt Disney's mansion in the Hollywood Hills, stunning 1930s and 40s mansion of Walt Disney. All the proceeds benefit the Garner Holt Foundation. Garner is the genius who makes animatronics for the Disney parks and Universal. Visit GarnerHoltFoundation.org and you can see the tickets there. I'll be the guide on all of the tours on the 29th, but we also have Imagineer Tanya Norris, who helped build the Haunted Mansion. She did the interiors for what used to be the restaurant back there. She also did interiors for Club 33, and then she went on to do interiors for Walt Disney's own homes. We have Chris Crump, son of Rolly Crump, the famous Imagineer who recently passed away. Chris is also a legacy Imagineer himself. And of course, we'll have Garner Holt and myself. A lot of reasons to be there on the 29th up in the Hollywood Hills. So buy a ticket while you can. Tickets are selling out fast. Not a lot to see here at Tiana except Nathan, if you look there, the top of this image, you see those smokestacks that look like an old steamboat right here. Look how high the scrims go now, way above the rooftop of the restaurant. So those smokestacks could show up at any time. They don't want us to see them. I love that. Sign of good things to come, we hope. I'm not worried about this change, folks. They're not making enough changes to this restaurant for it to be a problem. I wish they would have put it somewhere else. I wish they had done a real sit-down restaurant instead of reskinning a quick serve like this, but we're getting what we get. There we go. popcorn cart here. Creepy Undertaker Roasty Toasty. And we're gonna just walk through the portion of Magnolia Park here that isn't set up for a switchback queue.
All right, good job.
Little ducky over here swimming in the fountain. I wish we could join him. It is a hot day. It's a perfect day for a little swim. What do you think, Nathan? You want to join him? I'll get you a little inner tube. You can float there with the ducks.
I'd be willing to jump in this one because I can see the bottom. I feel less inclined with Rivers of America and with Sleeping Beauty Castle.
I'm just doing a thing right now where there's a reason I'm rushing. You can see the tower going up for Fantasmic directly in front of us. Kind of a magic time of day when they start setting up for Fantasmic. So you'll see there the white boxes on the post there, slowly raising up as they get ready for Fantasmic for the evening. Now, those light towers have really changed the way they look. Projection mapping boxes there that open up. We did see the Columbia going into dock earlier. We've got some neat photos and video of the Columbia preparing for its nightly transformation for Fantasmic. During the day, you can ride on the ship on busy days. Usually on days that aren't as crowded, it's just the Mark Twain, and then at a certain capacity limit, they add the Columbia.
It's only a 25-minute wait for...
It was about 30 minutes earlier, so Haunted Mansion does not have that long of a wait, only 25 minutes right now. And it goes fast on Haunted because the line keeps moving. It's an omni mover. Same with Pirates. That line moves very quickly. I think we're gonna do the little secret path here, Nathan. It's nice to do when the Columbia's in the dock. And it's still quite warm, but since the sun is starting to go down, it's comfortable. It's much more comfortable right now than it was earlier. I have always loved this building. Now, I do not usually eat the food from here. A lot of clam chowder and things like that I think is disgusting. Just because I don't eat gloppy foods like that, but I bet Nathan would love it.
Are you too good for
I'm not
gloppy
too good
foods
for
like
it.
that?
It makes me want to gag.
All right, you elitist.
But with the Columbia in Fowler's Harbor here, you can kind of see them getting ready for Fantasmic. So all of the guys in the black shirts there are all preparing the ship for the riggings for the Pirates of the Caribbean segment of the show. Now, another poll for you all. Do you prefer the current Pirates of the Caribbean scene, or did you like the old Peter Pan scene better? So current Pirates of the Caribbean scene or previous Peter Pan scene? Let us know in the comments below. Great view of Splash Mountain. You're looking directly into the sun. If you look too long, you'll go blind. It's a hard time of day to do the video because some views are gorgeous, like this one, and then you turn around and then you're looking directly into the face of the sun. I do have my sunglasses on, so it's safe for me, but Nathan's already, there he's going fast.
I put on sunscreen today, and I rubbed
your
it
eyeballs?
all the way in.
All right.
Unlike a lot of tourists I've seen today.
Yeah, it's so weird. We've seen so many tourists today with like big patches of like sunscreen that's not been rubbed in. When people scream, even though that ride is pretty far away on the other side of the path over there, you really hear it. That's pretty loud. I don't know what these berries are.
Would you dare me to eat one?
Don't do it, Nathan. I do not want to spend a night in the hospital with you. I will leave you there. They have the beverage cart here open, not always open. And it's another one of those things that they tend to do only when they're expecting certain crowd levels. Last week we took you on Splash Mountain. I don't know if I can bring myself to do it again. It was exceedingly wet, like more so than we're used to on that ride. walls of water, and the boat was flooded, inches of water in the bottom of the, very uncomfortable ride on Splash, but it looked pretty good in there. Still some lighting issues, but I thought it looked pretty good. What did you think, Nathan?
I also thought it looked pretty good. Audio was good, lighting was good, but it was just very distracting how wet it was.
Yeah.
We're walking by Hungry Bear, where you can now get a seat cushion for Fantasmic, so you don't have to sit on the hard pavement.
It's very exciting.
It is. I saw people trying to resell them for $50 on eBay.
And they sell for like $7? Or
$6.99.
$6.99, $7. I don't know how I remembered that. My brain doesn't work that way, especially with numbers, but $7 isn't terrible to buy a seat cushion so that your butt and legs don't fall asleep sitting on the ground for 2 hours waiting for a show. One of the best shows Disney's ever done, if not the best show they've ever done. Another little beverage cart in the pathway. We noticed it last week as well. Carts are getting bigger and bigger. They're now oftentimes 2 carts per cast member, sometimes even more. And that allows them to sell multiple different types of items with only 1 cast member. It's a way for them to have fewer cast members but offer you more different items.
I hate to be a victim
clever.
of capitalism, but seeing that frozen lemonade,
You wanted it?
it
Nathan
did
wants a
sound
frozen
tempting.
lemonade. Somebody stat, get Nathan a frozen lemonade. Emergency, emergency. Nobody in this portion of the queue. I'm curious to see, is the ride open? I do see some people moving ahead in the queue. Sometimes this queue can be filled and it will say 60 minutes or 75 minutes, and sometimes it's empty and it says 95 minutes or 100 minutes. So you never really know. It's not so much about how long standby queue is, it's about how many people are waiting for Lightning Lane. So they will accommodate all those Lightning Lane folks and leave the folks in standby waiting.
So Beth asks, do they still do the Fantasmic dessert party with actual chairs?
You know, I don't know if they do or not. They do still have a VIP section for people on VIP tours and for Club 33. I don't know if the dessert party for Fantasmic has returned yet or not. Does that say 50 or 60 minutes? 50.
50.
That's not terrible. 50 minutes, that was the same length that we saw for Space Mountain earlier.
I think that for Fantasmic, you can do Fantasmic dining at Riverbell. And they have a special dining package.
They have dining packages at several restaurants. So you do Riverbell, you can do Blue Bayou, you can do Hungry Bear. They all offer dining packages, and they give you a ticket. Looks like an old Fast Pass, and then you go to a pre-assigned area, and that's where you watch the show. But for the old, they used to have a dessert party where you sat in a chair and ate desserts while you watched the show. That we're not sure about. They are doing that over at World of Color, however, so popular that they doubled the amount of seating. A very expensive way to see a show, but it assures you a seat and some okie dokie desserts. Not great, not horrible.
Desserts, cheese, and fruit. Thank you very
And
much.
you get a glass of wine
A specialty
or a
cocktail
specialty cocktail.
or
or a
soft
beer.
drinks. Soft drinks are always an option.
Soft drinks.
Is it this way?
I do want to walk through the marketplace mainly because there's a little bit of shade. Now last week we did our live, and then the next day on Saturday I was back at the resort again, and I was able to do something really cool with Garner Holt, the animatronics genius that we talked about earlier. He invited me to be his guest at the annual THEA Awards. So the Themed Entertainment Association does an annual gala here at the Disneyland Hotel, and they put on their THEA Awards, which is the big award show for the year, where they announce the big attractions and themed entertainment experiences that won for the previous year. It was a very interesting show this year, Nathan, because Disney didn't really win anything. They did get a special award for their entertainment director, Susana Tubert. She did the Lion King show and Viva Navidad and so many other things in the park. She's wonderful and she really deserves it. And strangely, they gave a legacy award to the Main Street Electrical Parade, which isn't even running. And when Disney got up to accept the award, they didn't say if it was coming back.
However, Disney has described that parade as their perennial
Yes.
parade.
And they did mention that. He said, I'm not sure if or when it'll be back, but it probably will show up in some form someday, he said, but that could mean anything. So those pink trees are even here. They are stunning here in Galaxy's Edge. They provide some much needed color. It's a very drab area of the park. It's amazing and themed out and detailed. But one thing it doesn't have is very much color. So I love seeing these pink trees.
Smells good.
Like garlic.
Garlic.
Should we take the sideway down, Nathan?
And look at the little hidden Mickey.
Where is it? Oh, the Blaster Mickey.
The Blaster.
Blaster Mickey.
War-torn Mickey.
You know what? Right now, everything with ice in it looks so good. There's, I don't know how to pronounce this, the Fatro. Is that what that is, the Fatro? And the Moof Juice. Is this the one that Scott likes?
I think it is.
Moof Juice.
Scott is a big old Star Wars nerd. I think that he
We have a
likes
lot of-
almost everything.
We have a lot of nerds on our crew.
I say that with
I woke up this morning and one of our crew members had posted a mashup in our crew area for a Millennium Falcon with Star Trek engine.
Oh,
wings
is
on
that
the
what that
back.
was?
That's what that was.
I saw that this morning and I
had one
no
response
idea.
for that. It was just nerd. There's the Mickey. I won't give it away. There's a hidden Mickey on this wall. See if you can find it. Do you see it? Blaster Mickey there. One big blast, two little ones. Make a Mickey head.
So there's a question for you from Felix the Master. Do you think Tomorrowland could be done better now?
So we have a question about Tomorrowland, if it could be done better now. I hope they do not announce anything right now. I'll tell you why. They're in the midst of some huge budget cuts. They're expecting more employees to be laid off as early as next week. They've already laid off thousands of employees. They have thousands more to lay off, 7,000 total, and about $5 to $7 billion in project cuts. So now would be a terrible time for them to announce it because that would be a very cutback project. Up there, what's her name again? The character that's up there, do you remember? V. Marathi?
V. Marathi. I don't know if
see
it's
her
V
up
or
there?
Vi.
We're gonna zoom in on her so you're gonna lose the feed for a second. There she is. V. Marathi. Now those platforms up there like that one were made for entertainment. So when the land was originally built, there are these platforms all over the land, and they're meant for characters to be able to run around, even on this bridge here, and there would be a stunt spectacular essentially happening in and around the whole land. So the whole land would have been a giant piece of interactive entertainment. That all got cut. Cut along with it were the interactive droids, and they were going to have a fleet of droids that were autonomous. So they didn't require a puppeteer or a remote control operator, but they would just be roaming around the land. They would be aware of the location of guests. Now, that got cut for a variety of reasons because the droids, many of them were already built and painted and tested. They were fine. The problem is they were expecting a lot of guests. That was one. And two, they hadn't made as many droids as they wanted to, and they were very expensive. So I think the decision at the end was, okay, it's expensive, it's going to be too crowded to have them. How are we going to keep guests and kids from running up to them and hugging them and things like that wouldn't be safe? And so they just decided to cut the program. Nowadays, I think they realize they could have done it. but now there's no budget for it. So we do hope that in the future the droids come back and that we eventually have some entertainment as well. This land is made for it. So all of these bridges are all places where characters can be up here. Those railings mean that's also a space, and you will sometimes see characters even walking around up there above the shop. So all of that area up there is accessible with stairs. Easy for them to add actors in, kind of like they have at Avengers Campus. I think it's kind of at this point with all of the interactivity in Super Nintendo World at Universal, there's no excuse for Disney to not be actively trying to implement what they had originally promised with all the interactivity in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Stepping off my soapbox, Nathan, we're exiting Galaxy's Edge and back into a world of true magic. Disneyland.
There's a question from Andrew. Do you think Galaxy's Edge or Tomorrowland will get a new attraction first?
I think it'll definitely be Tomorrowland that gets the next big attraction, Disneyland. What that attraction will be is very much up in the air. It's possible that Avengers Campus gets the next big attraction. They do want to build that e-ticket. Eventually, it's been announced. Of course, what happens is they make those announcements and then other things happen that kind of delay. And Bob Chapek announced the second attraction for Galaxy's Edge, and then it got canceled during the pandemic. And then he announced again an attraction, but a different attraction for the same spot. And then he got fired. And now Bob Iger is doing this big cost containment. And so everything is sort of on hold. So we don't know what will happen. They will either eventually do that attraction, the one that Chapek, the cutback attraction Chapek wanted to do, or it's possible Bob Iger may say, well, let's wait another year or two, let's do the expensive attraction. That's what I would like to see happen. I think we're better off in the long run if they build the more ambitious attraction. So
The other thing that could happen is it gets announced and then quietly canceled, like
so many other things.
most recently the Mary Poppins attraction at Epcot.
Mary Poppins ride at Epcot, the Play Pavilion at Epcot, the Food and Wine Festival Pavilion at Epcot. So many things at Epcot.
Or Epcot.
And then they were going to do that new version of Spaceship Earth. That got canceled. They announced a million things for Epcot. And then there were a bunch of things that weren't announced, but they were also working on, like a Coco ride for the Land Pavilion. All of that got, indefinitely delayed or canceled. Another pink tree over here. I do like this. Somebody has abandoned their stroller here, but they have this cute balloon, this orange balloon with the cute versions of the characters. They're kind of like a Jared Moriyama style character, super cute. Do you like that, Nathan?
I do. Right now, a lot of the merchandise really is cashing in on the cute character design.
It's definitely having a moment. That's so clever. That guy had a giant fan clipped to his shirt, and it was blowing on the baby to keep the baby cool.
How selfless.
I like that. It's super cute.
So we are now in Fantasyland, which is home to some of the scariest attractions in the resort, which including Pinocchio. Pinocchio is pretty frightening.
If you think about it, Nathan, you're absolutely right. So what if you had to ask somebody, what is the scariest thing at Disneyland? They would probably tell you Haunted Mansion, because it has the words haunted and mansion right in the title. But Haunted Mansion isn't really that scary of a ride. It's dark, but it has that upbeat music, and it's singing to you. Really, these rides are scarier.
Contributors, Sam, her son growing up was terrified of the ride, and so her way of getting her son to ride was calling it Haunted House Party.
Haunted House Party.
And that changed the perspective on it. It was just a big house party at the end.
That's right. You want to go on Haunted House Party? Sure. But Snow White's Not So Scary Adventures is actually still pretty scary. Pinocchio is terrifying. It's dark and everything's trying to kill you, and they turn little boys into donkeys, and even to some degree, Peter Pan, although people love it, it's kind of got that scary element of being dangled from the ceiling, and it's very dark, and
I bring up the scary stuff because Disney has been doing a non-stop campaign this week for
For?
halfway to Halloween.
Halfway to Halloween, everybody!
And unfortunately, there was so little that came out about Disneyland. It was primarily about Walt Disney
So much
World.
stuff for Disney World. You know, I shared an image in our update last week, Nathan. It was basically this. It was just these arches with that view all the way down to Main Street. I love this spot. I like the murals on the inside. I love that sort of clock that doesn't work. It's just, this is a very magical space. What do you think? Should we go ahead and climb? You guys feel like you have some energy? Can we go into Sleeping Beauty's castle? And do we have enough bandwidth? Check your phone and see what it says.
I'm good.
Yeah?
So we were
Let me
talking
know
about
if we
Halloween.
lose the signal here.
The only thing that was announced for Halloween here was the return of Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oogie Boogie Bash. This is one of the scariest things in the resort. Taking my glasses off because it's so dark in here. You all can see a little bit better than I can because my phone is compensating for the darkness. They're having a little bonfire there. What are they burning, Nathan?
People.
Spinning wheel, not people. They're not burning people.
Aw.
But they are burning spinning wheels. This baby carriage is rocking itself. Is this haunted baby carriage actually rocking? All right, folks, if you're enjoying this walkthrough, please do us the favor of liking, sharing, commenting. Let us know if you make a point of ever coming in here. But one great thing about this right now, there's air conditioning. This is my favorite scene. I'm going to probably say that again about something else. 3 fairies are up there on the right. They're animated, usually, but right now they're frozen. Everything is frozen. Normally the fairies are moving around and they're lighting and unlighting the candles there, but right now they're frozen. Much like Elsa on Main Street. This is a beautiful effect right here. Nathan, go ahead and touch that slat.
This one?
Uh-huh.
What do you want me to do with it?
Uh-huh.
What?
Ah! See what I mean about scary, Nathan? All sorts of scary things happen. Just scary, folks. All right, now we're headed down this dark, dark pathway. Definitely not a tripping hazard.
This is one thing that our castle has an advantage of over Walt Disney World.
Yeah, folks. Don't touch anything. Don't touch the spinning wheel, Nathan. And look at this. The sense of height. There's all this forced perspective in here. Very kind of Harry Potter-esque. And this is a beautiful scene. And watch up there where the green flames are. Maleficent dragon. Come on, breathe your fire. Amazing. Isn't that awesome?
I love this.
It's so good. And True Love's Kiss happened in so many early Disney movies. All right, another big question for you folks. Should she make her dress pink or should it be blue? That's the question. Pink or blue? My sister would have said pink. I would definitely prefer the blue. And how do they handle it in the parade?
Both.
It's both.
It's both.
Both. Now we do have a little journey that we have to make over here. I was originally headed to before we took that detour through the castle. Hopefully the video held together there for you and you were able to actually enjoy that walkthrough. But I want to show you the rooftops here in the castle because even though the 100th anniversary started way back in January, many of the rooftops here still don't have their finial toppers. Now, a few more did get flags and things in the last 2 weeks, but many of the rooftops here are completely empty.
Just let you guys see that it's here, okay? So, not a big deal.
They were showing the fire department where the emergency fire hose is. I didn't want to show you all because they were all watching. I'm going to zoom in. You're going to lose me for 1 second. Notice that those rooftops there just have like posts. They do not have flags and things. They did add flags there. They added a flag over here. But in the center there, for example, and over there, nothing. We don't know why. So we don't know what's going on with that. And we'll zoom back out. A pretty view. The purple trees. I think those might be potato bush. I don't know the purple standards. Showing beautiful castle fountain views. We like it. The one thing that we do not like when the wind is blowing just the right way, that water blows on you. This water right now is a disgusting brownish green. There's a reason for that. A lot more ducks right now because it's breeding season. There's lots and lots of ducks and they are pooping in the water. And so there's a bacterial bloom in the water in the dark water system here at the Disneyland Resort. So from here all the way through Adventureland into Jungle Cruise and eventually into Rivers of America, that water is all disgusting right now. It can smell a little bit bad at times. Royal Hall here is closed for the day. They have a beautiful pink tree there next to the sign. A lovely shot right there. We're gonna look over here, Nathan, and see if they've painted. There's a lot of damaged wood and things over here. Yeah, it's still looking awful. They need to just scrape this and paint it. You can see that the posts are all chipped. And down here, and this isn't even open to the public, only characters go here, so you can see everything, just about every step. The wood here is even split. See, that's caused from the rain. Split up there, coming apart. Once in a while, you'll see character up here on this balcony. I love it when they use that balcony there to say hello to the guests below. So there's Figaro up there, and the little birdie. They're both sleeping right now. Oh, you just woke up. Love it. When you need a snack, this little cart tends to not be busy because it's hidden back here, Maurice's Treats. They do have some delicious churro gears, so they're donuts that taste like churros, cinnamon churros, and they have donut holes up there as well, and they have great bread twists. So the garlic bagel twist up there, you can get a side of marinara or a side of cream cheese for dipping. Very good. Nice and shaded back here right now.
Is this a good direction?
We're going to take another little side pathway right now. I smell jasmine. Something is blooming over here. Do you smell the jasmine, Nathan?
Honeysuckle.
Or even gardenia. What is that?
It's the honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle? Nice. Pretty view. Here, we're going to take
Look at
one
the little
moment.
ducklings.
Oh, little ducklings. We're zooming in.
Oh, a bumblebee.
Research to do. Baby ducklings. Baby ducklings, baby ducklings. Oh, those pretty baby ducklings. Baby ducklings, I love you. That's my baby duckling. Baby duckling loves me too. Look at that. Cute little babies. Hope they all make it. I'm not going to tell that story again because I told it recently. My mind goes to dark places. Look at this view. The pink trees, Space Mountain, the Astro Orbiter, little lagoon here that most people probably never even notice here in front of Frontierland and Adventureland. We almost lost this little lagoon through here just before Galaxy's Edge opened when the park was doing their project Stardust. They wanted to add more and larger walkways, more places for people to enjoy fireworks, and they wanted to fill this in and make it so that people could stand here and watch fireworks. And then at night during Fantasmic, it wouldn't get as crowded. Of course, we and a lot of other people were screaming and yelling, don't do it, don't do it. They had the lagoon, I think, drained for quite some time, begging them, please, please don't, please don't get rid of that little lagoon. So important to just the overall look of the park to have little unused areas. Every square inch of the park does not need to be a money-making opportunity or stroller parking. And just a quick peek here in Frontierland before we head out. 'Tis the time of day for people to be setting up shop to trade their pins. I won't say anything that gets myself in trouble, but I hate the look of that swap meet. Not my favorite thing that happens here. What a lovely walk today. Can you believe it's almost been a full hour? And it was just a lovely walk around. We did get to go through the castle. We got to see the new Starview Station. One brand new thing. Castle only feels new because we don't go in there very often. You see the wisteria growing up there on the little castle turret? Being drawn like a moth to the flame. There's, hello, how are you? Enjoy your day. So I love this family in purple sitting just in front of the purple wisteria. Isn't that beautiful? Live wisteria growing there on the side of this tower. Very, very pretty. Stunning. And of course, we're right here at the castle. Pan around here for 1 second. See our swans. The only swans that we still have at Disneyland are these topiary. Sadly, our swans are long gone. They got rid of them right around the time Steve Davidson started doing fireworks off the castle. Queen's Wreath.
It's not wisteria.
It isn't. What is it?
Queen's Wreath.
What is Queen's Wreath? Just a vine? Blooming vine?
Petrea volubilis.
Nathan used an app. You take a picture of a flower and then it shows you what that flower is.
Powered by Nat Geo.
Really?
It is.
So it's a Disney thing that we just did. So we're looking at the Matterhorn kind of to finish things off because Matterhorn is closed. So we don't know how long it will be closed. They're working on the waterfalls on the opposite side of the mountain right now.
It's going to be closed through June 1st.
June 1st. That's good. That's not a terribly long closure. May 30th, I believe, is the last day for, or maybe the day that it closes, Splash Mountain. And then
The
immediately
31st will
after
be
that,
closed.
the Matterhorn will reopen. So the park won't be without e-ticket capacity for very long. There's almost always an e-ticket closed somewhere at the Disneyland Resort as they work on things. Monorail was down for a good portion of the day today because it's too hot for it to run. That happens in part because there's no air conditioning in the Matterhorn. I'm sorry, in the monorail. Matterhorn, of course, has no air conditioning.
Jay Pike makes a neat observation. Interesting that the pin traders came back after the opening of the parks, but no swing dancing. Great to see them dancing last week.
Because dreams were made to come true. All you have to do is make a wish and let your heart take flight. You won't need wings to feel the joy or the fun, for in just 30 minutes, magic happens.
Llamando a todos los soñadores. Acérquense todos. Prepárense para volver a creer en la fantasía. Porque los sueños nacen para hacerse realidad. Solo tienen que pedir un deseo y echar a volar su imaginación. Esta es la magia de Magic Happens. Comenzando en tan solo 30 minutos.
That was the Magic Happens announcement. It starts in 30 minutes at 6:30. It's the second showing of the day. It's our favorite showing because the light goes down just enough that you can see the screens that are on some of the floats. Very hard to see with the sun glare at the earlier 3:30 showing. We do recommend the later one if you can. You can see how many people are already waiting. Look how many benches there are. And benches on both sides of the parade route now. All along the parade route, you see so many more benches. Galaxy's Edge had a ton of benches. There were benches over on the far side of the Matterhorn. Really, they're doing a lot of work to add seating back into the park, and that is extraordinary. Well, right here, we're on the backside of Minnie and the backside of this live stream because we are just getting ready to let you all enjoy your Friday evening with friends and family. Or just rewatch this video over and over and over again because it's going to be posted on our channels, both YouTube, youtube.com/MiceChat, or on Facebook, facebook.com/MiceBook. And you can see all of our content and videos and things, and we always appreciate it when you like, share, and comment so that more people can see what we do. Of course, we've been doing this for about 25 years, but it's amazing how many people don't know we exist. So we rely on you all to spread the good word. We love you all. Thank you all so much for joining us. But I promise you that we will be back with you again real soon. If you would like to join me on the 29th at Walt Disney's Mansion in the Hollywood Hills, again, that link is the GarnerHoltFoundation.org, and you'll find all the information about tickets there. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.